Hi, hello, welcome to the Bois.
All boys, baby.
How you doing there, Mark?
Oh, it's great, Tyler.
Mark,
We took a hiatus last week. Didn't want to talk about football last week.
I did. We recorded an episode.
We
the
recorded
episode
an
didn't
episode.
come out. That's all that is.
I was
Mark
very
was
depressed.
sad.
I was sad. But we're back, and the Browns won in convincing fashion. So
Really
this
good game.
episode is getting posted.
That's crazy. That's really kind of sad. I'm so sorry for that. That's crazy to say. But yeah, it was a good game. This was a really good game. Really good outing by really good bounce back game by the offense and mainly the offense. Like,
Miles
the defense
Garrett
didn't really need the bounce back, but
Miles Garrett had 3.5 sacks. Like, you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, from your best your best player on defense, you can't ask for anything more than that.
And at the end of the game, when the two tight ends were trying to shadow him, and then they had to call a timeout, that was so funny.
That was kind of
like, he was just laughing. He's
say-
like, "Okay, I'm going over here."
I would say I sat there and I'm like, wow, like I've never seen that before. I've never seen two offensive players just like, oh.
Yeah, usually the
we gotta go
defender
this
would
way.
just like pick a
We gotta
side.
go that way. Yeah, like I felt like the first motion was actually like he was supposed to motion to the other side, and then he saw that they were following, so he was like, all right, so I'm just gonna go this side. And then he moved again, and they were like, "Oh, like they're really just following me." This is a first. I don't know. It was a really good game. We beat a really good team. There's nothing more you could ask for. Beat a really good team. And
Deshaun had a masterful game compared to what he was doing. Not the greatest, but they did steal a touchdown from us. Thank you, Zebras, for stealing a touchdown from us. Even if Coop didn't break that off and score a touchdown, we would have been right there in the red zone where he would have got tackled probably at like the 10, 15-yard line. But, the Zebras, they blew the whistle. Can't review it for some reason. Did not step out of bounds. We saw that.
I would say I would hold off on the Deshaun's back stuff. I think that this was a really good game.
We need to see it. We need to see it against Baltimore.
I wouldn't say just Baltimore. I think the bigger challenge, because Baltimore sadly is very banged up.
We definitely need to
over
see
the
it
place.
against San Fran.
I would say San Fran coming out of the bye week.
Yeah.
That's the true test of like, all right, like where are we actually offensively?
It was an encouraging. It was encouraging.
It was an encouraging game. It was a good game.
It
Not
did
mad about
suck
that.
it seemed like we could not run the football, but I don't think we didn't make it a point to run the football that game because Nick Chubb wasn't there. It's very encouraging to see Deshaun have a great game besides that one play where he threw the ball backwards. If we don't throw the ball backwards, he has basically almost a perfect game.
He had a perfect game. Like, I'm not counting
He threw the ball backwards on that
like,
one play.
It's cool. It is what it is. Everyone has goofy plays. Like, it's fine. I'm not worried about that.
Cooper had a great game.
But he had a right game.
Cooper had a great game.
I'm not-
They robbed our mans of at least 20 more yards and a touchdown.
I'm not. If you can tell, I'm really not like. I'm not impressed by beating the Tennessee Titans. It's the Titans.
No,
Like,
they're not a good team.
They are a good team. It's just like that's not the
No.
teams you're competing. That's not the teams that are going to be there in the end.
They're perpetually a mid-level football team that is borderline playoff team.
You've never been better than a mid-level team.
Yeah.
So,
but
that's
like
that's
you
a
said,
real
that's
good
not the
win.
team that you want to be in a gridlock game with.
That's also not the team that I'm like. I'm putting more weight against what you're going to do against Cincy the second time. Hopefully the second time you play Cincy, you're resting everybody because you made the playoffs.
Wait, what week do we play Cincy?
Week 18. That's the last game of the year.
That might not even matter.
I'd say that's what I'm hoping. Like, it realistically, in my perfect world, you already have the division locked up. You are locked in as one of the top 4 seeds. And that last game, you're just resting everybody because you're good.
Yeah, I think the weight of the injuries for the Ravens as well might end up.
It help out. It helps a lot that, all right, this team's banged up.
But it's
We're playing
unfortunate
in
because
Cleveland.
every single season this happens to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Every single season. I don't know if it's the strength and conditioning coach or like the way that they recover the guys in the recovery room or what's going on, but they just always, or maybe it's the guys that they pick up. Maybe the guys they pick up are just have shaky injury histories. But
I just say I'll be. I think we should beat. I think we should beat the Ravens this coming week. I'd be very surprised if we did not beat the Ravens this coming week. But other than that, it's Browns football looking good. Hopefully we'll be 3-1 going in the next week, and then we get a bye week afterwards.
It's also encouraging to see that the Steelers looked like Dookie.
Well, they weren't that good.
No, it just sucks because
they aren't that good, even though they're 2-1.
It's just like weird every time. Some dumb shit happens every time we go to Pittsburgh. Every single time. We're gonna wipe the floor with them though when they come to Cleveland. Don't worry. We got the receipts.
But
we got the receipts of you saying y'all are Super Bowl contenders. We'll remind you that you said that.
Yeah. Some of you were very heinous.
That guy on Instagram. I like arguing with people on Instagram. This guy after the game, it was just like a little edit of TJ Watt coming out of the tunnel, and it was like Super Bowl contenders. Oh my God, I wonder who it's gonna be. TJ Watt coming out of the tunnel, basically saying, "Yeah, Steelers Super Bowl contenders now because we beat the Browns."
They're not.
It was before the Browns game. They had won their first game.
No, they didn't.
Their first win of the season.
What was their first win of the season? We were their first win of the season.
No, I thought we were.
No, we weren't. They got blew out at home against San Fran week 1.
That's funny. That makes this even funnier because this was posted after they got blown out by San Fran then. And I left a comment saying, "We'll see you week 18, bub." And
we don't play them week 18.
No. Just week 18. Like, I'd love to see this comment section on week 18 when the season's over.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Bad.
And then some smartass goes right after the Steelers game, ha ha, Browns fan, basically. And I'm like, okay, cannot wait to wipe the floor with you and come back into this comment section and laugh at you. Every single one of you that just plastered hate in my mentions. Oh.
Then he didn't do that, and he's sad.
That's the sweetest part about shit talking about sports on the internet. Is that when you can go back to that person who thought that they were right and we're all high and mighty, and then when the thing that you said was going to happen happens, and then you just get the dunk on them, and then you don't get a reply back. Oh,
that's crazy. You know what's crazier? The Miami Dolphins dropped 70 points on a team,
and that wasn't even all the way through the fourth quarter. They had scored 70 at like what was 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because there was a point where they could have kicked the field goal to like get the NFL or tie the NFL record, and they refused to kick the field goal
because they wanted to break the record.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't.
A lot of people have been talking about what's more impressive, these defenses or the Miami's offense. It is Miami's offense. You're not supposed to put 70 on the board against an NFL team.
I disagree.
We're not in the milkman days no more. This ain't the 60s. This ain't the 70s, not the 80s. They weren't even putting just 70s. They weren't doing scores like this in the 90s and early 2000s. Ladies and gentlemen, this is disgusting. This is bad. There's a lot of good defenses. As much as anyone will say, the Saints are a good defense, the Cowboys are a good defense. Your defense is going to have a point to where either they blow a coverage, they're not fully healthy, or they're going to give up a game. Like, your defense is not going to be perfect all the time. This is not fair.
Through 3 weeks,
70 points.
I think they have 7 more touchdowns than the second offense in the league. I think, which is the Chargers. I think the Chargers have 10 touchdowns and the Dolphins have 17 touchdowns.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not fair. This is nasty. This is nasty working. Listen.
I don't know. I think it's more.
Tua?
I think it's more impressive to to shut down an offense because of the way that the game is nowadays.
I get that.
You can't like this. Someone brought up a
that.
good point. Like, look at this the Sauce Gardner commercial with the Buffalo Wild Wings. You hit him high, what happens? Flag. Well, you hit him low, what happens?
A flag.
And what happens if you fall on top of him?
Probably a flag.
Exactly. You can't grab. You can't. Hand fighting is even sometimes called PI. So I think it's much more impressive that you shut down an offense when the offense has every single advantage in the rule book.
I still disagree. I still think it's an offense putting up 70 points.
That being said, 70 points is ridiculous. It's absolutely goofy, really, cartoonish because
that's 7 touchdowns in one game,
and it's not even
an NFL team.
It's not even like the
it's
Dolphins.
Not even like the other team scoring either.
No, it's not even like the Dolphins kept their starters out there with their foot on the gas. No, they stopped throwing the football. Their backup running back had the most touchdowns of the game.
Don't pick him up in fantasy. That's a lie. Do not pick him up in fantasy. He's not that good. Don't pick him up in fantasy. Don't do it.
Some of us are desperate. Some of us had Nick Chubb.
Different you are. Don't do it. It's not a good move. That's not a good move.
But yeah, they stopped throwing the football. They put backups in. Gave every single opportunity for the Broncos to stop them. Eventually, it comes to a point, though, because like the people were critiquing them that didn't watch the game. You could tell they didn't watch the game because when I put my backups in and you still can't stop me, that's not my problem. I gave you mercy, and your defense is so beaten and battered, and
they are kind of beat up.
It's not my problem. You're a professional football team. You need to stop me eventually.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Stop me.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't care what anyone says. That's very impressive. I don't think they will keep pace with this all year round.
No, you can't. You can't keep a historic pace the entire season.
But I will say that this offense is something like I think I came in. I had New York. I had the Jets. I think I had the Jets. First winning the division. I had Miami second. I had Miami
right behind them.
Yeah, right behind them. And it's sad because Aaron Rodgers is not playing no more. But
they're really about to walk that division.
They really are. Like everyone's been talking about Buffalo, but no, it's Miami. Like they really
when those two teams come together, I cannot wait to watch that game.
Why?
I'm gonna go out of my way to watch that game. You think it's going to be a blowout, Tyler?
Yes.
Even if it is a blowout, it's still going to be entertaining to watch. And the talk that's going to happen after that game is going to be cash money smack. You're going to absolutely obliterate Josh Allen if they lose that game in a convincing fashion.
I just want to say that.
No, but if they lose in convincing fashion and Tua outclasses Josh Allen, you can't argue with that.
But what I would say is this. I would say I expect that to happen. Tua's having I don't think there's a quarterback having a better year than Tua right now.
Yeah, and I don't think Tua's job is necessarily that hard either.
It's not that hard, but it's also he's doing everything correctly. You can't be mad
he's not turning the ball over. He's not making bad decisions. He has just Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill to throw the ball to. I mean, that's probably at this point the best receiving core in the league. Those two guys,
he a baller. They all balling out there right now.
Take your ones and two receivers, and they're not better than Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill.
But again, a lot of that also they really have not played anybody. I think they've played.
I mean, the Broncos had a good defense last year, but I think the team has took a turn. I don't know about the worst, but it's starting to look like, as a Browns fan, it looks like a Freddie Kitchens type deal where eventually the team might quit on the coach. I don't know. I find that hard to believe because it's Sean Payton, but my nose for the dysfunction of franchises as a Browns fan is just telling me that this is going to take a bad turn.
They played the Chargers week 1.
The Dolphins?
The Dolphins played Chargers week 1. They played the Patriots week 2. That probably
can we talk about the Chargers real quick? Did you see what the Chargers did against the Vikings?
They beat them.
They shouldn't have. So at the end of the game, they had the ball on their 22-yard line or something like that.
Okay.
They went for it on 4th and 1, which is goofy because they were up by 4. They went for it on 4th and 1 on their own 22-yard line or something like that.
Oh.
And they didn't get it. And then their defense showed up and bailed them out. I think the Vikings only gained 1 yard on one play, 4 tries in the red zone, and Kirk Cousins threw a pick. They got bailed out. They gave the Vikings the ball in the red zone, and they just got bailed out by their defense.
I would say this.
That was an absolutely nuts decision, and so many people, there was a guy talking on the radio. I listened to our local sports radio, and the guy was a former GM. He's like, that's a fireable offense. You have the lead on your own 20-something yard line, and you don't punt the ball because some fucking analytics. He's like, if I was the GM of that team, I would have fired the coach. I don't care if we won.
You're not firing your coach 3 weeks into the season. Especially because you won the game and your season has not looked good.
That's the thing. They won the game. The guy was disappointed because he's like, the guy's not going to get his ass roasted for that.
I felt like it was very. I know the play that you're talking about, and I think that it's a very odd and strange play to make.
I would not do it. Granted, I'm not an NFL head coach either. But I find it hard to believe any other NFL head coach would make that decision.
An NFL head coach should understand. I'm winning. I'm on my side of the field. It's 4th and 1. As much as I want to be aggressive, and I love aggressive plays. No, we punting this bitch.
Yeah, this isn't Madden.
I'm Mr. Go for it. And I'm punting it.
If it's Madden and it's not real life, for sure I'm going for it. But that's Madden.
Even in Madden, I may punt this bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be honest. Even if I'm playing Madden, I may punt this ball. I'm not doing this. This is, hey, let's get this in the locker room.
Shout out to Kirko for saving a coach's job. He's
but not his job. He's looking like he may be going after the season.
And it's not even his fault. He's on pace. Him and Justin Jefferson are on pace for historic seasons. And they're still losing these games because the defense is bad.
Well, get a better defense.
Yeah.
What would you want to say?
I think it's kind of goofy because he's on pace for 50 touchdowns or something like that.
I think it's very weird because going into this week.
Because they're 0-3, right? The Vikings? That's nuts.
I feel like this year's been kind of like a whole little thing. I think, what is it? The Jaguars are 1-2, just like the Houston Texans.
That's another game we got to talk about. CJ Stroud. Can I get a OH?
IO.
Uh-huh.
I'm about to say
all you goobers making fun of Ohio State quarterbacks. CJ Stroud put us back. He
hoisted us up.
He hoisted us up. Got the first Ohio State win of the season.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm about to say it was. We were watching the game, and we went to Meyer, and we were getting food for a little cookout or whatever.
Right.
And we were sitting there, and it was I think before we left the store, it was 7-0. We got to the house
for Jags or
for the Texans.
Oh man.
So then we got to his house. We start setting everything up. And the next you know, he walks out the house. He's like, "Damn it." And I was like, "What?" And then I looked. I didn't know what he was talking about. So I looked over. Our friend Xavier, he's a Jags fan. And I looked. I'm like, "Damn!" Xavier, the Texans dropped 14-0. What happened? What happened to your boy? And he's like, "I don't know, bro." That's why I said, "Damn." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know that for real." But
they mollywopped the Jags
37-27. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. I never thought the Jags were a high flight team, but I didn't think they were that. Maybe it's just the Texans being better than we all thought. But
37-17. 37-17.
I never expected the Jaguars to lose a game like that. I thought that they would be mediocre enough to at least keep it close.
Not me, ladies and gentlemen. I think they would win their division because everyone else is young and they're not there yet, and the Tennessee Titans are kind of But
if C.J. Stroud keeps that trajectory, I mean, I find it hard to believe they're.
I legitimately went into this year. I've said I would not be surprised if the Texans and or the Colts, more the Colts than the Texans, could win that division. If
I don't know
right.
now because the Colts are kind of Gardner Minshewing it up, but
they won this past week.
They did. Gardner Minshew went out there and battled with his mullet and his mustache and Uncle Rico to win.
Yeah, he won today. I would listen. The Colts are actually head in the division. Everybody else is 1-2. So
yeah,
shout out to the Colts.
But I also think the Texans coach he's got a defensive mind, and I think that's more valuable to a team that's projected to be bad, because if you shore up that defense to an extent and take some pressure off of C.J. Stroud, and all he has to do is deal like they did last game, that's perfect.
I think that this is gonna be a very interesting year. There's a lot of teams that lost week 2 that I didn't see week like that. For me,
Cowboys fans,
Cowboys, that was crazy.
Shut up. I don't want to hear from Cowboys fans for at least another 3 weeks.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that was a crazy loss. That was a crazy loss.
They were talking cash.
That was a tough loss.
I love how the circle of Cowboys fans is literally happening right before our eyes, where they have 2 really good games, and then they lose to a team that they shouldn't lose to, and then we all make fun of them, and then
they go back on
they say we them boys, and then they go back on their bullshit. We're coming back to that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would 100% say this. I think that that loss does not define what their season's going to be. I think that was one of the games that you should not drop. That you dropped is a sad thing.
Shout out to Josh Dobbs being a warrior out there.
But I'll say this. I was honestly say this because everyone say, "Oh, the Cardinals are just trying to get Caleb Williams next year." Blah blah blah. Even though that makes no sense.
I think they believe in Kyler Murray.
I think that financially you have to believe in Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot of guaranteed money on that contract.
I think financially you need to believe in Kyler Murray.
Unless they can find a way to trade him.
I ain't trading that nigga. Nope. You about to pay me.
I don't think anybody's trading for him.
You're the entire contract. Give me all that money right there. But the Cardinals are playing very hard. They have not won a lot of games. This was their first win. This was their first win. But they are not laying down for nobody. They listen. Josh Dobbs and the boys out there, they're legitimately saying, "Yo, if you want to take this win off of us, you gonna have to bury us because it's not about to be easy for you. We ain't letting nobody have nothing. It's not easy." And because again, like I was saying earlier, a lot of the national media people, they're just looking for Caleb Williams. They don't want anything else. Caleb Williams. But they're not laying down. It's nice to see.
I mean, when you put the backups in the game, or like, for example, Josh Dobbs, he's not tanking. Like, the only way you consider that tanking is maybe the front office not putting the right people in there. But those people are going to battle. The coach is going to battle because that's their reputation on the line. If they lose those games, that coach is getting fired. That quarterback is not getting another backup job or let alone a starting job. Like, a lot of dudes are getting cut and not put on other NFL teams ever again. So this is their life and reputation.
Personally, I don't take this loss for the Cowboys as anything serious.
They just blinked.
They blinked. That's all that was. That was just a one-time little mishap. I'm not like over here like Cowboys got this.
No, but they do that every year. They do it every year. They blink.
Jaguars last year. Yeah. Like Jaguars late last year was one of those games where it's like, why? You're better than this. But same thing. My personal team of mine, my favorite team.
Didn't they lose to the Commanders last year too?
I don't remember. I know the Eagles did. That was their first loss of the year.
They lost to the Jags.
I said that.
They lost to the that's preseason. Hold on.
We don't have to go over it. It's fine.
But they always blink. They always do this.
It happens. Any good team, the Eagles last year were a good example. They probably should have beat that Commanders team last year, and it was just one of those games to where it was like, why you drop that one? Or the Eagles against the Texans last year. For a good chunk of that game, the Texans were, in a sense, looking as good as the Eagles offense, and it was like, why are you letting these guys do this? You guys should put the foot down.
I mean, the Eagles offense isn't even like, people are saying, oh, look at them move the ball, like,
I think the Eagles,
I don't think Jalen Hurts isn't even having
a good year
so far. Like, I guess like
so
he had
far.
flu-like symptoms from the last game, but I mean, most of what they're doing is running the football, doing QB sneaks and short yardage situations.
DeAndre Swift looking amazing.
Hey, I drafted
like
that
a
motherfucker.
baller.
I drafted that motherfucker in fantasy football. Give me some. Yep.
I was
That was a great pickup.
I just say the Eagles again. It's just one of those teams. They're gonna drop a game that they probably shouldn't drop, and they're gonna blink that one time. They're a good team.
I mean, the way that they're constructed, it's gonna happen because their secondary isn't the greatest. They got some young players.
Holes.
They got some young players on their defensive line. They're still learning.
Except for Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter is just
were.
He's a steal.
I don't know why people.
I can't believe he made it to
I don't
ninth.
care. I don't care what
Ninth.
you did. I don't care what you did, unless like you did some real crazy shit.
He was the best prospect coming out
listen.
the entire season, and that
And
stuff
he's
come out and he
showing it.
dropped.
And he's showing it.
I want my defensive linemen kind of being terrible people. I hate to say this. I kind of want them being terrible people.
No, you could be a good person and still be good at your job. I'm just gonna say that you don't have to be. I don't think he's a terrible person. I think it was a very. It was
I mean,
a
he
young
was
man-
just speeding, right?
He
was like speeding and like damaged property because he got in a car accident.
It was
or
something
something?
else. It was he was racing, and the people he was racing ended up dying sadly. So yeah.
Oh.
So again, I don't think he's a terrible person.
I don't think he's a terrible person.
I don't think he's a terrible person. But again, I don't know this man. He could just be young and dumb, and a situation happened with the situation that happened.
But it's still the draft.
It is for him to get down though. I think
They're letting Howie
10?
Roseman get away with this yet again.
I think it was 9 because they traded up. They traded up with the Bears.
Yep, 9th overall, baby.
And the Bears, you goobers, you could have had that.
You could have had Jalen Carter.
You could have had that. You kind of need that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you need a lot.
But personal team, Eagles played the Buccaneers Monday night.
Watch Baker Mayfield.
What happened was going to happen because again, Baker has not played a real good defense.
He always plays.
They lost.
He always plays bad against great defenses. He never shows up against great teams.
They lost, as I thought they would have.
Overthrew. Mike Evans got sick of him overthrowing to the point where he went onto the back of an Eagles defender and caught a football with one hand.
That was a very nice. That was a nice catch. That was a very nice catch. I do think Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown's their chemistry is there. Like it's slowly but surely everything's getting back right, and that's very nice to see.
That offensive line.
Yeah.
Jason Kelce and crew are putting in work. Hey, every single short yardage situation, that QB sneak on the left guard, putting in work.
Yeah.
Can't stop it.
I think that it's looking good. Like the Eagles are looking good. Tampa goes down to 2-1. But still tied in division with the Falcons, with the Saints. All those teams were 2-0 the start of the season, which again, a lot of the national media people thought that this division was going to be the garbage division, and it isn't looking that way. You have 3 teams that are looking.
It's looking like the AFC South at this point.
What do you mean?
Because everybody, the AFC South,
NFC North maybe.
NFC North.
NFC North.
I wouldn't say shitty. That's not the worst division in football.
What is it? The Lions are, I think, 1-2.
Yeah, but that's still a good team.
0-3. Chicago's 0-3.
Chicago, you got
and
me.
Green Bay is 1-2. So it's either the NFC North or the AFC South.
Yeah.
Because what you have, Colts 2-1.
I don't think anybody expected the Jaguars to like.
I did.
I'm not saying
me.
You and me definitely said like it's going to be a competitive division. We're not like I don't think either of us instilled confidence in the Jags.
I never said it was going to be competitive. I said they were going to win a shitty division, and they're probably going to win a shitty division.
No, because
unless the Colts do.
Tyler, the Jags, the way that people are talking about them, they shouldn't be in competition with the Houston Texans. They shouldn't.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Competitive in the same way that the NFC North is at a gridlock, but you have 1 and 2s and 0 and 3s.
But we get Green Bay v. Lions this weekend. I think this is going to be a really good matchup.
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
Actually, the Lions are 2-1. I forgot. Lions are 2-1 because they beat KC week 1. They lost week 2, and they just beat the Falcons week 3.
They did beat the Falcons.
I'm very excited. It's my favorite team, or one of my favorite teams, the Saints. They lost this past weekend. Sad.
Lost Derek Carr
in the process of the game, and that's pretty much was the tide turner.
What are they talking about for him as far as
week to week? So from what I know, from what I've heard,
like he went to the hospital and everything.
But it was just to look it up, and from what they've said, he's week to week. He could come back. He could, if possible, he could play this week, but most likely they're going to sit him this week, and they're going to.
I want to risk it.
They're at home. And they're playing Tampa, so I'm not worried.
Even if you drop a couple, I'd rather
going to.
No, but even if they do, Tyler,
they're not going to.
I'm not particularly worried about the Bucks or the Falcons.
No, they don't play the Falcons.
The Panthers? No, I'm talking about the division race.
Oh.
Like, I'm not particularly worried about the other teams in my division to the point where I think I need a cushion. Like, the Bengals, I guarantee you regret playing Joe Burrow at this point. I think if they had a time machine, they would have sat him out week 1 and even possibly week 2 and bring him out week 3 because you can go 0-3 with any quarterback.
Yeah.
You can go 1 and 2 with a lot of quarterbacks.
But I think they're in a very so the Saints play the Buccaneers next, and then they play the Patriots. So I'm not really worried. Their defense is good enough to where you can coast through these games.
And if you give Jameis an entire week of practice with the ones and getting a little bit of chemistry in, that'll help too.
Kamara coming
back.
That's going to be the biggest thing because
Mike Thomas is playing.
So I feel like, again, I'm not really worried.
Tyler, Mike Thomas is playing football games.
Mark, shut the fuck up. He played football games last year.
He did.
I'm not worried about this man. But
no, I love trolling Tyler. But I got Mike Thomas on my fantasy teams. That's why I'm saying that.
But
don't get into it. And I got Kamara in my work league. Don't worry.
But other than that, I'm about to say it was really good. I feel like this was a really good weekend. I think this was a really solid weekend. A lot of upsets, which is really nice. A lot of commotion, a lot of ups and downs, which is really nice in a football week.
A lot of defensive dominance.
Weird.
A lot of teams got walked.
I don't know about defensive dominance.
Hold on. Obviously, we got the Browns. The Browns just dominated.
Browns, San Fran, because I think San Fran gave up like 3, like a touchdown or something like that.
The Eagles shut down the Buccaneers.
There's three dominant games.
I think I know you hate the Bengals defense, but Sam Hubbard and
that game was not defensive dominance.
And Trey Hendrickson.
That was not defensive dominance. They almost lost that game.
Listen to me. That
was
two guys.
Dominance.
I'm saying 2 guys.
Wasn't defensive.
2 guys
dominance.
played great.
Wasn't defensive dominance. Can't say that.
Who else? The Chiefs absolutely shut down the Bears. The Bears.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bears are struggling. They need to figure out a lot of things. Yep. I'm not worried about. If you beat the Bears, that's good. You beat the Bears.
The Patriots almost lost to the Jets. Almost. They won by 5 points.
Ayo, listen, Joe Douglas, you're the Jets GM. I told you what to do. I'll tell you again. Teddy Bridgewater.
They're talking about trading for Kirk Cousins.
I don't know
how that's going to work on the salary sheet.
Don't make sense.
I don't know how that works on the salary sheet.
Old man is coming back next year. He's coming back. Whether you like it or not, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. He's not going out like that. He's coming back.
Yeah, I think Kirk Cousins is more of a long-term option if you do.
I
go
just
that
say
route.
Kirk is not the option that I'm making. I need someone for this year and only this year.
Trevor Siemian.
No, that's also not the answer.
They just signed Trevor Siemian, but yeah, I agree with you. It's also not a good option. It's definitely not Zach Wilson. Did you see Joe Namath came out and said, "I'm sick of watching him"?
Yeah,
We've seen enough of Zach Wilson.
Hey, listen. Once your legends start coming out saying, "Hey, can y'all do something, please? Like, y'all really kind of hurting me." And I think it's fair. It's like there are good backups.
The Falcons got shut down too.
There are good backups out there. That you can go that, in a sense, they've been career backups, or at some point they were starters and they were like decent starters.
Jacoby Brissett,
like Teddy Bridgewater. You might as well just go out and like trade for these guys. These guys are backups. They are gonna legit do everything at your axe. They're not gonna like win you a bunch of games, but that's what you have your defense for.
I mean, like a guy like Teddy or
Jacoby,
or even like a guy like Sam Darnold. I don't know why they would bring him back.
Sam Darnold. No,
I don't think it makes sense to bring him back, but a guy like that.
But let's also, real quick before we run off these games, what we think is going to happen next week. Ohio State moves to 3-0 on the season.
Lou Holtz, we got the receipts, buddy.
Lou Holtz, I'm sorry. You're just an old man, and you just said what you said. I understand it.
Hey, y'all really soft for real.
Hey, 3-0 though. 3-0, moving to 3-0. Really good win.
Do you know what he said?
Yes.
Did you see exactly what he said? He said our defense goes up against receivers that are just as good as Ohio State's, and he name dropped Marvin Harrison. He said every single receiver that Notre Dame has on the ones are just as good as Marvin Harrison.
That's crazy.
He need to retire.
He is retired.
No, I know he's retired, but he need to retire from speaking in a microphone.
Oh, that's wild.
That was a bad take.
That was a
homer take.
I was like, it's a homer take. It's how you would talk if you coach at
he also said he won national championships at Ohio State, which no, Woody Hayes did it.
Well, he was a coach.
He was an assistant.
He was a coach underneath him.
Assistant.
He still won them.
He said I won. I won national championships at Ohio State. The way he framed it was like, oh, look at me. I'm big baller. National championship, Ohio State, me. No. You weren't the head coach. You can't claim it like that, Mr. Lou Holtz. I know you're like 92 or whatever, but
I don't have no smoke for Lou Holtz. I think Lou Holtz is a great coach.
I think he's a great man.
He was just
talking smack.
Hey, I wouldn't say he was talking smack. I think that he was trying to, because they were, I think it was College Game Day was out in South Bend,
and they had him on. I mean, obviously he's going to give the Notre Dame take.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get the crowd hyped up, which he did. Mm-hmm. So I think that I like to see the passion from Coach Day.
That post game speech was amazing.
I think that he's like him, and I feel like he's kind of like tired of hearing what he's been hearing, and like he's taking it personal, which is it's good to see. It's good to see. He's like nah, like it's not just because of my job. It's because like I love these kids, and these kids have been fired up.
He got me fired up.
Have been playing great.
He had a "who do you think you are? I am" moment. He had a moment.
I think
it was great. He stuck his chest out for the kids, and I mean, I think that's another thing people who cover college football and talk about college football don't really understand. You're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Like, come on, man. Is it really that serious?
To some people, yes, Mark, it is.
Most of these people are betting. When you're betting on like 20, 19, 18-year-olds, if you're betting significant amount of money on that, you got a couple of screws loose, buddy.
I wouldn't say you have screw loose. I think that you're just like I wouldn't say screw. I wouldn't say you have.
When you're out here talking cash money shit about a 19-year-old kid, you got a couple screws loose. You're a grown man.
I feel like I wouldn't say that. I would just say I think it depends on what you're saying. Like, God damn, like if you're upset that your team lost, I get it. But if you're like swearing like they're useless, blah blah, something like that, that's a little much. That's too much.
I think that's more so what he's talking about. Or like the death threats that people were sending the kicker last year after the Georgia loss.
Yeah,
like,
that's too much.
That you're doing too much.
You're a crazy
I think
person.
you need to look in the mirror and reassess your life and why you're screaming at the TV on New Year's Eve.
You probably need to stop watching football.
Yeah, you need to take a break. You need Football's Anonymous.
Yeah. But I'm about to say Ohio State, it was a great win. Love that win. Now we get in division play.
Number 4 in the country.
Now we get in division play, which should be nice. He's looking Kyle McCord looking really good.
He won a big game.
Led
a game-winning drive.
His next biggest game.
Michigan, Penn State.
Even though we do have Maryland, I think we have Maryland in a few weeks, and Maryland is 3-0. Maryland,
their quarterback's going crazy right now.
I say Maryland's not a joke. They're running.
I think that's more so. I think that's more so a challenge for the defense than the offense.
I don't know the Terps.
Terps.
Their defense isn't a cakewalk either. So again,
no, I mean it's still Big Ten football. It's going to be gritty to a certain extent. It's not going to be your Florida Atlantic or it's not a cupcake.
It's not
game.
The Big 12.
It's not the Big 12. It's not
talking about the Big 12.
But it's also not Notre Dame.
Talking about the Big 12, Colorado. You guys lost, like I said. I'm not trying to rub it in because, again, they are children and these are young people. And
no, we can direct things to Deion.
I'm just gonna say that no, because
Deion's a grown man.
But he's also a good coach. Like, how do you say this? I give 100% credit to the fact that this team has won 2 more games than they did last year. They were projected
after he got there. The projections were way worse than what they are right now. Let's just be real here.
What do you mean?
They projected them to win 3 games after Coach Prime overhauled everything, took in all those transfers, cut a bunch of starters.
They're winning. They only have 3 wins right now.
Yeah, but you're telling me they're not going to win a single game left on their schedule?
They got some hard teams to play left on the schedule.
I'm not saying they're going to win these ranked games, but it's a little goofy to say they're not going to win one single game left.
Ladies and gentlemen, they play USC next week. That's another loss. I'm sorry to say USC is the same type of dog Oregon is, and USC is a bigger dog than Oregon. I'm just gonna say,
like they're playing after they play USC. Whoa, what the hell happened?
After USC, they play Arizona State,
Stanford,
really
UCLA.
Good. That's probably a win at UCLA.
Oregon State, they'll probably have a tough time with.
Arizona, that's probably a win. Washington State.
Like, there's winnable games here. It's not like they're going to win 3 games. They're not going to be a bottom team in college football.
Then there's also, you could just win these 3 games and this is it. I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe 4 because you
can maybe beat Oregon State or Washington State. I can't.
I'm not gonna say
Washington State's quarterback looks really nice.
Not Washington State. Washington's quarterback.
Yeah, but Washington State still looks.
No, it's.
Am I not thinking?
If you're thinking about Penix, if you're thinking about Penix
is having a great season.
Is the Washington quarterback, not Washington.
He used to be at Wisconsin or Nebraska. Where was Penix?
I don't know.
Wasn't he in the Big Ten at one point?
It doesn't matter. He's probably coming back to the Big Ten. Who cares?
Coming back. That's right.
I'm pretty sure it's Oregon and Washington that are going with UCLA and USC. Those are the 4 schools going back to the coming to the Big Ten. So I do think that
Michael Penix Jr. He was somewhere.
I think that this is looking good. I expected Colorado to lose, and I expect Colorado to lose the way that they did. I think that is kind of crazy. But I do think it kind of shows their deficiencies on the defensive line and on the offensive line.
In the trenches.
Like, there's a lot of things that if, again, personally, I do not believe that Coach Prime will be there for much longer. I think he'll be there for about 2 to 3 more years.
He was at Indiana. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think that Coach Prime would probably be at Colorado for about 2, maybe 3 more years
for his kids to play, and then he'll probably leave.
And then he'll probably leave to the NFL, if not to just a bigger program.
I don't know if he's like an NFL head coach.
I think he'll go out and give it a shot.
It's very like he doesn't call plays.
Well,
he's not coordinating the defense at all.
To be completely honest, calling plays as a head coach is a very new thing. Like typically,
yeah, but that's most of the guys that are getting hired now. You got to look at the trends and the people that are getting these jobs. They're either offensive or defensive play callers.
I don't think old buddy for the Texans. I don't think he calls his defensive plays.
D'Amico Ryans? I thought he calls the defense.
I don't think he calls the defense. Pretty sure his DC calls the defense. Again, you don't have to call plays. I don't think that's a mandatory thing because I feel like personally, I think that it makes I don't think it makes a difference whether you call plays or not because
during the preseason, but it's not known if Ryans will return to the role.
So again, I think that it's not a big
yeah. D'Amico Ryans calls the plays on defense.
Again, I still don't think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
I think that it doesn't matter if you have good coaches around you. You let the people around you do what they're good at.
The coaches who don't call plays are usually guys that have been there for a long time. A guy like Mike Tomlin or Pete Carroll. I don't think Bill Belichick calls the defense anymore, does he? Does he let his son call the
I'm pretty sure
defense?
Whoever the DC is, I think he lets them call it. But again, I don't think that's a prerequisite for. Also, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a longtime person. Any desperate or not doing good franchise would be lucky to have Deion Sanders be their head coach.
Yeah, I think, but it's very rare nowadays for a team to just go out there and hire. Like his thing is motivation. I don't see a team going out there and hiring just a pure motivator that doesn't bring.
Well, that's what a coach is.
A defense or an offense to the table.
I feel like that's what a coach is. A coach is a motivator. A coach is a teacher. Someone that's gonna help you learn what you need to learn and put you in the best position so that way you can go out and do your job the best way you can.
I think Sean McVay destroyed that.
I disagree.
And guys like him, like the coach from Miami, Kevin Stefanski, like they want somebody to bring things to the table other than just them and being a motivator. It's very rare nowadays.
I feel like that and maybe a defensive that or just a philosophy of how they're gonna run their team.
Yeah.
But also, I think that any team is gonna take would take all right, we're gonna take a flyer on you, see how this turns out, see what happens. Because again, I don't
a tanking team.
Not a tanking team, just a team that's like, yo, we kind of want big. We need a name that's kind of going to bring in, let's say, that's going to bring in a bunch of numbers.
I don't know. I don't think so. But do you
but,
want to get into this?
Yeah, to wrap this up.
Week 4.
Week 4 NFL season. So Thursday night we have Lions, Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going Lions. I know Mark loves the Packers, but I think the Lions.
Where is this being played?
Green Bay.
I think you got to go Packers. I would give them a slight edge because they're in Green Bay.
I'm going Lions. So we have Falcons, Jags, and they're playing in Duval.
But I also think the Lions losing David Montgomery.
I disagree. I think losing David Montgomery is a good thing and is a good thing. Is addition by subtraction because this gives Jahmyr Gibbs the right of way to go be a dog that he is.
Yeah, show us. Right?
Week 1. He had a great game week 1.
People picked him up off the waiver wire so quick.
Falcons, Jags. Ladies and gentlemen,
Falcons.
This is hard, but I'm going Jags.
This is a toss-up. If I'm betting, I'm not betting on this game.
If I am betting, I would bet on this game and I'd take the Jags. Rams, Colts, I'll go on Rams.
Rams.
I think
a good choice.
I think the Colts are really good, I think especially even if even if Richardson is there or if Minshew is there, I think that the Rams offensively they have it. They just need to like really just run the ball a little bit more. If they run the ball more, I think they would have won this Monday night game if they ran it more early and more often.
They just have a hard time like inserting a good run play in the situation where it's needed.
If Cooper Kupp comes back, if Cooper Kupp is activated for this week, this helps a lot because either one, everyone's still going to be focused on Puka Nacua. They're going to still be very focused on him.
But I even think
to take him away, or they're going to be a little bit too over aligned and be like, no, we have to cover.
But if Cooper Kupp comes back, like he hasn't played football in such a long time, I think it's going to take a while for him to ramp up again. I don't think he's going to be the guy that you saw last time he was on the field.
But that plays, in a sense, to me at least, that plays a good thing for Cooper Kupp because either you don't get the coverage, you either get the coverage rolled to you, and then you let the young bucks go crazy, which Tutu Atwell and Nacua have been doing, or everyone's more focused on them, and then you get to go up against, let's say, a second or maybe a third corner, and you can kind of like slowly ramp up and cook. After that, we have Ravens Browns.
Can I cut a little promo here? Browns coming out and actually breaking another streak, Tyler. We broke the opening game record.
They broke this one last year. They beat the Ravens last year.
We didn't beat Lamar.
We didn't beat Lamar. That's fair.
Lamar Jackson's reign over the Browns is over. We're winning this game. It's in Cleveland. Deshaun looked great last week. This defense looks dominant. I'm really excited to see how the defense gels and plays against Lamar. But I think I always call JOK the Lamar Jackson stopper. He was specifically drafted to stop Lamar Jackson. I have to pick the Browns because, one, that's my team. Always picking the Browns. In my head, they're going 17-0. And also,
I will never. If there's a better team, I'm gonna pick the better team.
The Ravens are beaten, battered on defense.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna end up being a shootout.
I don't think it's gonna be a shootout. I think it's gonna be a very low scoring game. I personally, as a bettor, would not touch this game because this game could go either way.
Yes,
I would. But I am taking the Browns. I am taking the Browns to win this. Would not be surprised if the Ravens won, but I'm taking the Browns. After that, we have Vikings-Panthers.
Vikings.
I have the Vikings picking up their first win of the season. I do think the Panthers have a really good, solid defense.
If the Vikings defense doesn't wake up against the Panthers, they're never going to wake up.
I don't think the Vikings defense is going to wake up. Those niggas are going to be asleep for a whole season. Them niggas are bad. I will say this. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think this game will be a shootout.
Is J.C. Horn coming back?
No, he's out for the season. I think that this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I have the Vikings winning it and winning.
I don't know. I don't see Bryce Young scoring a lot of points. I just don't think.
I'm
not a Bryce Young believer.
Is low-key ass.
The defense is ass. I'll give you that. The Bengals and Titans.
Titans.
And it's in Cincinnati or in Tennessee.
It's Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee. I'm not touching this game.
I'm low-key going Titans.
I think the Titans are going to win because they have the better defense.
I think the Titans have the better defense, and I think that
they depend on Joe Mixon to move the sticks a lot, especially since the pass game's not working as well. I think they're going to absolutely wipe out Joe Mixon. So since their pass game isn't really firing at all, I don't think the Bengals are going to score a lot of points.
I'm taking I low-key want to take this back. I'm gonna take the Bengals. I'm gonna take the Bengals over the Titans. I think that this is the bounce back game. Like I think this is kind of like this is where they kind of start to correct the season. I'm gonna take the Bengals actually.
I don't know.
Would not touch this if you're betting. Would not touch this one. But I will say I am taking Bengals over Titans. Buccaneers Saints is the next one.
Tyler's picking the Saints.
That's easy. Buccaneers showed this past Monday night. They're coming off a short week. They showed this past Monday night. Listen,
AK's coming back.
If you can get pressure and make Baker move his feet, everything can go wrong. And if you can stop the run, which they can, hey, I think that offensively, again,
I don't even think the Bucs' run game is particularly even that impressive.
It's not, but also it's how they won a lot of games. But I am taking Saints. They're in New Orleans. I'm taking Saints. I'm taking Saints over Bucs.
I agree with Tyler.
I
think this is the game of the week. The
Dolphins,
Dolphins and the Bills, regardless of the outcome or whether or not it's going to be a blowout, I think it's still going to be a fun game to watch because these are two intriguing teams. I'm excited to watch this game because the Bills' offense has kind of woke up lately, so kind of hoping for a fun shootout. But I'm picking the Dolphins.
I'm also picking the Dolphins to beat the Bills.
You can't argue with 70.
You really can't. Ain't nothing to be said.
Bills got a good defense, but it's not that transcendent.
Broncos, Bears. I'm taking the Bears. Taking the Bears to pick up their first win of the season.
Wow.
I think that this is going to be the one where they kind of like
show your work, son.
Yeah. So I think I'm taking Bears. They're in Chicago. I'm going to take the Bears over the Broncos.
How do you think they're going to win this game, though?
I think it's going to be a kind of a high scoring, like something like 28.
High scoring?
28-24, 27-24.
How are the Bears going to score points?
Justin Fields' legs, and I think that he kind of like settles in and he throws a few touchdowns.
Yeah. All right. I'm picking the Broncos, though.
That's fair.
I think it's a better all-around team. They have a better defense. Justin Fields has been struggling, second-guessing himself, so I don't particularly have confidence in that. I think the Bears also don't have a good defense, so Broncos.
Not mad at it. So then we have Commanders, Eagles. Even though
some weird shit happens.
I think the Commanders are a really good team. The Commanders look really nice this year.
Their defense is nice.
And I don't know, but I'm taking the Eagles. Then we have Steelers, Texans. Part of me, as a Browns fan, hopes the Texans win. I really hope the Texans win. Like, I really want the Texans to win.
If they can keep up the pace from last week.
If
you copy and paste that game?
CJ, if you could do this Ohio team with a solid and, like, you can beat these niggas, that'd be great. You know, really knock these niggas down.
But we got to pick the Steelers.
I'm picking the Texans. Fuck them. Fuck y'all. I'm picking the Texans.
I think the Steelers are going to win, but I'm 100%.
Fuck
you, Pittsburgh.
I'm picking the Texans. Raiders, Chargers, easy Chargers. Like, that's not even a talk. That's not even a decision. That's easily Chargers.
But the Chargers are really
I'm
good at
taking the
games.
Chargers.
Like, both of these teams are really good at finding ways to lose. But Chargers.
Niners, Cardinals. I'm taking the Niners. This is going to be the most least impressive the Cardinals have looked all year long. And even though, yes, it's been a short season. It's not been that long. Only for 4 weeks. But I will say I'm taking the Niners over the Cardinals. This is probably the worst game they have so far.
Another interesting game, Patriots, Cowboys. We saw the Cowboys sputter last week. There's always a good defense coming out of New England. I think it's going to be a yucky, mucky, low-scoring game because of the nature of both these defenses.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing I like to say. You caught me slipping. Okay, so what? They slipped up one time. It was a Drake bar.
Oh,
it don't matter. It's okay. They will be fine. They're going to correct the ship. It is easily hands down Cowboys over Patriots. Probably by like 20-10.
I'm picking the Cowboys in a close game.
Something like that.
This is gonna be
not that close.
This is gonna be a field goal off, and then the Cowboys are gonna score a touchdown.
Chiefs, Jets, easily Chiefs. If Aaron Rodgers was here, I would took the Jets, but I'm taking the Chiefs.
Got to.
I think this is gonna be kind of a lower scoring game. It's the Sunday night game, and I'm taking the Chiefs.
Thank God. There's
if Aaron Rodgers was playing, I would have took the Jets. But Monday night we get Seahawks Giants. I think Seahawks. I am taking the Seahawks. I think this is going to be kind of like a low-key, a high-scoring game.
Their offense is still looking great.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett is locked in. I mean,
DK looks really good.
DK looks really good. Geno Smith seems to be carrying over. From
he's
last
not playing
year.
Aaron Donald this week, so
he's not shitting himself.
Yeah. So again,
this is a great parlay week, Tyler.
It's a solid one. It's a solid one.
Can I throw out a parlay?
What's up?
Seahawks, Chiefs, Niners.
Or you just taking
Eagles.
taking short bets?
Yes. And
I would say
yeah, that's it.
Jaguars. I throw the Jaguars.
I'm not confident in the Jaguars.
The Jaguars on there just to like.
I'm not confident.
Listen, if you ever
That's
make
gonna be the leg that busts if you put it in a parlay. I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you, if you're doing a parlay, it's always good to have that one leg that you're like, I'm not 100% sure about. But listen, if it hits, it's great. If
the
it
one
doesn't,
I'm not 100% sure about, if I were to put a risky leg in this parlay, would be the Vikings.
Vikings, who are they playing?
Panthers.
Oof, I understand.
Because of the nature of
actually the Chargers. Chargers over. I think the Chargers are playing the Raiders.
I'm not confident in that game.
Hey, listen, I'm confident in the Chargers defense. I mean, the Chargers offense, not the Chargers defense. I'm confident in the Chargers offense that they could get it done.
But they just find ways to lose, and so do the Raiders. I'm not betting on that game.
Again, another nice little.
They got bailed out last week by Kirk O'Chain throwing a pick.
Again, another nice little thing to bet on. But yeah, I think this is a good week.
Another risky parlay would be Dolphins over Bills. I think you'll get better odds on the Dolphins than any other team on their schedule because the Bills are a good team. So that could be another leg, but I don't know because that's another interdivisional.
I just want to say, every week we have football is a great week. So good little days. Good little days.
Football for the boys.
But with that being said, also NBA is coming back pretty soon. I think mid-October. So we on the lookout for that.
Me and Tyler get heated about the NBA, so y'all enjoy that.
Yeah. I would say make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you see our little reels, share the reels and all that good stuff.
Leave a comment down below.
Check us out, Ohio Boys Productions on Instagram and on YouTube. We appreciate you guys.
Instagram Ohio Boys _P.
Or just look up Ohio Boys Productions. It's gonna pop up.
Hopefully, yeah.
We love you. Appreciate you. Bye.
Peace.